think she's one of those sleepers that should be in the top 10 debate, and her poll numbers increased after this as expected, and she definitely outshined the others on the stage and really held her own.
And one of the things that we all did in between commercial breaks when we were at the ACU event at the House of Blues during the happy hour debate is we went up to different voters that were attending, and of course these are your triple prime, super active volunteers and totally gung-ho Republican voters that are guaranteed to turn out. And I gotta say, every woman in there over 40, 100% across the board, all was saying Carly Fiorina is now my candidate. 90% of the women under 40 in the room, all about Carly Fiorina. If there is going to be a voting block coming up, I think the women vote on the Republican side may have a little something to say during the caucuses and the primaries early on. Moni, do you think that women are going to turn out for Carly Fiorina?
Yeah, definitely. They would turn out for Carly Fiorina during CPAC, and a lot of them have been crazy, but she's been keeping a low profile. But during conventions and conferences, especially like we went to New Hampshire first in the nation, South Carolina, and the voter for that Monday before the debate, people were really riling up to Carly Fiorina. And now that they hear it, and over 30 million people watch the debate, and now a lot of people are getting to know this lady, they're actually loving what she's saying, and she's not holding back. But she does it in a very classy and very tasteful way, and her attacks is attacking on issues, not attacking on substance.
And that seems to be the case with everyone except for Chris Christie and Rand Paul, and we'll get to them a little later, of course. Let's talk about the other side of the ledger. Vito, what candidates need to get off the stage right now from the happy hour debate?
Without a doubt, Lindsey Graham. I mean, aside from how big of a rhino this guy is, I mean, if you saw the debate, he was a mess. He was, just going on, ranting. All he was talking about is foreign policy and ISIS, as one said before when they asked him about Planned Parenthood. This guy's a mess. His poll numbers are very low. I mean, near zero. He needs to exit immediately.
But I don't think he's going to, Vito, because South Carolina is an early state in the primary process.
Yeah,
but
he's 42% in South Carolina, so he has to drop out.
But if he wins his home state,
he's not. Geez.
Really? All right. So Mona is predicting right now. So are you predicting right now Lindsey Graham will lose his home state?
I'm predicting, and I'm following the polls of South Carolina. He's not leading whatsoever. People in South Carolina, 60% of South Carolina don't even know who he is and don't even want him running for president. So
wow, I got her banging on the table. So, okay, Lindsey Graham off the stage. I agree with you. I think he's going to try to hang around till South Kakalaki, but we'll see what happens there. In my opinion, you want to throw into the dustbin of history, former Governor Jim Gilmore, get off the stage. I don't even know why you were there. And
another former
I'm going to say it. I'm from the People's Republic of New York.
I want to say it.
Go ahead.
Because you know what he did to us in New Hampshire? We literally went up to him. Boston Herald, I think it was, had an interview with him, the radio. Me and Vito D went up to him, asked him nicely. We're like, hey, we're young conservatives in New York. We want to get your name out there. Can you do a radio appearance? He's like, yes, sure, no problem, especially for my New Yorkers. 5 minutes later, he ran away from us. So, screw you, Pataki. Get the hell off this damn.
Whoa!
Calling him out.
I love it. I love it. Wow.
And if I have to hear about 9/11 one more time, shoot me.
Well, we can't arrange that. But I do know a guy who knows a guy. Yeah, George Pataki, time to get off the stage. I think your moment has passed. If you didn't do it in 2008, you shouldn't be doing, and you didn't do it in 2012, your moment is here and gone. That's it. Now, okay, so, next question. Let me just ask you this one real quick. Two other candidates that kind of find themselves in limbo right now. Bobby Jindal and Rick Santorum. Mm-hmm. Stay on the stage or get off the stage, Vito?
Off. Both of them.
Both? Really?
Yes. Bobby Jindal, if he's struggling in his home state, if people don't want to reelect him, how can he get the support of the nation? He's had his own issues with the budget and everything in Louisiana. And Rick Santorum, I mean, come on. How many times this guy's going to run again? I think the field's just way too crowded. I think he missed his boat. I think there's better candidates we can focus on and get behind.
And Rick Santorum, even though, you know, the social issues are coming to the fore a little bit with Planned Parenthood news, of course, another video coming out recently. Mona, is Rick Santorum's time passed as well? Does he get off the stage?
Yeah, because he had it in 2012, and because after he won the 11th state, after Super Tuesday, Mitt Romney people, like, sent out a bash attack, and he dropped out like a scaredy cat he is, and he thinks he's actually gonna come back from behind, like he did in 2012. No, your time has passed. You had a chance in 2012. You got scared because of establishment. So what makes you think you're actually gonna win with a field of 17?
Right, and all these candidates we're talking about are polling under 2% right now, including Rick Perry, who last time was a big contender. I mean, you know, how great he did in Texas, but it's a little surprising how low he's polling because of, you know, so many candidates.
And then with Santorum, he's switching his issue. He went from social conservative to, like, foreign issues, and, like, now he had a momentum to take over Planned Parenthood and fight this battle, and he's not using that to his advantage.
Well,
he's talking about how
I'll agree with you on that.
To, like, make an amendment or something about foreign issues or something. And I'm like, really? You were in the Foreign Exchange Committee? That's interesting.
I remember during the debate watch party, I remember tweeting out something that says, when you're talking about legislation that you passed back in 1996, and then you try to put yourself as a candidate for change, it's not exactly a good sign. 1996, 19 years ago. Oh my God, Mona was 1 year old in 1996.
No,
I have just feeling.
I was.
Oh, Vito was 1 year old.
I was.
Oh my goodness, I feel just.
I was 9.
Listen, I feel old either way. Okay, so thanks a lot for that. But you guys brought up. You guys brought up Rick Perry, and I'm in mourning because the news out of the Perry campaign is that it looks like the coffers are running dry, and the campaign in South Carolina is working on the arm. They're working as volunteers now. They're sticking with the campaign for now, probably because they're being promised money in the future, but not a good sign for the Rick Perry campaign. And Rick Perry, if not for Carly Fiorina, probably had the best debate performance in the happy hour debate, Vito.
Absolutely. He's still strong. I mean, he shows that he's still a contender, that he knows what he's talking about. You know, he remembered the agencies that he wants to cut this time. And he shows that he can be with the top 10. It's just the poll numbers aren't there to support him right now. The money isn't there either.
With Republicans, you're never going to forget what happened before in the past. And, like, now with this crowded field and, like, with, you know, Donald Trump in it, it's very hard for Rick Perry to outshine everybody when he has actually the best record of every governor out there running. I would even say over Scott Walker. And if it wasn't for Rick Perry shouting out Carly Fiorina to negotiate with the Iran deal over John Kerry, I don't think Carly Fiorina would have had that too much attraction like that as she had with her own personal stage debate. So I think he gave her a good shout out, and that really, like, played in her favor. That's my opinion.
Oh, you know what? I went to mute on that. You know what happened? I went to mute. You guys heard me. Everybody else didn't. So I'm going to ask it again. So that way we all said it. Rick Perry, obviously, the situation with his money was an issue. And the shout out to Carly Fiorina definitely helped her out. And if not, I think that we all agree, and what you said yes to earlier, just say yes to it again, that Carly Fiorina is the only winner out of the happy hour debate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, there you go. So we're going to take another break right now. I'm going to figure out how to get these microphones to work after 5 years of doing radio. And but while I'm doing that, we're going to give the mic over, and this is probably my favorite part of every show. I know it's Vito's favorite part of every show, because this is the only time he tunes in. Time for a little Reverend Al.
Which Vito?
That would be Paul Mary.
Oh, no, he's passed out.
Oh, no, that's hard to say.
I'm telling you, Carson put all three of us to sleep.
Oh, well, you know what? He's going to miss out on the Reverend Al Sharpton here on Behind the Main Lines. We'll be back right after this quick word from the Reverend Al. The show will be right back. But first, a word from Al Sharpton.
But resist we must. They're all jitty about a shutdown. The tortoise in the race, then co-author of Hubris. U2 lead singer Bono, Fran Drescher, Sigourney Weaver, suspect Jahar Tsarnaev, Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh, the show Rush Lombard hosts Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Is Mike Muckery yesterday, Antonin Scalia, Kim Kardashian, and the Republican candidates, both Cairo and Benghazi. We rank behind Lavita. First stop, Kazakhstan to college students in Beijing. He's getting lunch at Chipotle in Iowa. Bain is appropriate. The GOP's tax day giveaway to millionaires. Why was traffic problems email sent? The Environmental Projection Agency and what sequestration has done.
But wait, there's more.
We all know I've had my share of prompter issues. And here's the president meeting with a cola cube. Republicans, Grinches, launching fistful of coal. Copies of the new issue of Charlie Hebdo. He also goes by the name Michael Ziha-Bilbao. 26-year-old Nina. Phone. Ray Romano. Honor David Letterman. He died of accidental asphyxia. Al-Qaeda in Yemen. The start of school has been postponed several times. Massive manhood is underway. Who spoke at a white supremacist convention. You look at the hand you dealt with, there are not 60 Republicans after a historic. When you hear of ISIS now waterboating, all over the map on immigration. Did the New England Patriots cheat to get into the big game? NFL analyst and Hall of Fame player Troy Aikens, the writer slamming President Obama for talking with YouTube celebrities. What's the latest tonight in Iowa?
Well, in Ottawa.
And all we can get is an internet show? Let's get back to it. Gene, Vito, and Mona back behind me lines. Before I bring the gang back in, just to put a little ribbon around the whole happy hour debate. Right after the debate at the House of Blues in Cleveland, I was fortunate enough to run into Congressman Jim Jordan from Ohio and just get a snap reaction from him about the happy hour debate and what he thought about it. Obviously, he was very diplomatic about it because the Ohio Republican Party was throwing everything, and he didn't want to come out and say who he thought his favorites were. But here's what he did have to say. Here in Cleveland, minutes after the debate with Congressman Jordan from the great state of Ohio. Thank you very much for joining me right now. Just snap reaction to what you heard today in the first debate that we've heard, the big one to come.
Well, I mean, here's the bottom line. It's a good field. It is a good. I've never seen in my time in my lifetime since Reagan, where we had this many quality candidates. So whoever emerges as our nominee, I think we're going to have a good candidate. We're going to be able to win, which is critical to get away from the Obama-Clinton way of looking at things, big government, power in the executive branch, and get back to respect for the Constitution and doing what we told the voters we were going to do when we ran for the job.
In milling through the crowd during the commercial breaks, I kept hearing Carly Fiorina's name being mentioned by everyone about how she made the biggest impression. Did you feel the same way?
I happened to be in an event in California last week where she did a nice job. But look, I think there are lots of good candidates, and one thing I know is you have the semis before you get to the finals. So let's see who emerges from the semifinals, who our finalist is. I'm confident they're going to be good. Our nominee is going to be strong, the kind of leader we want, and the kind of individual who can take it to Ms. Clinton or whoever emerges on their side.
So is it fair to say that the Republican Party is definitely putting their best foot forward with this debate schedule that they set up?
I think so. I mean, look, my chief of staff said this a while back. He said in 1996, a guy named Maury Taylor ran for president. No one remembers him. I didn't remember him. But my chief of staff said that he, in the Iowa caucuses, finished 8th. Today, the person in 8th place on the Republican side is a guy like John Kasich or Bobby Jindal or, Christie. I mean, governor, a good candidate. That, again, shows the depth and breadth of this field. So that's what excites me. And, let's get to this election and get Barack